had 40 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, while Jalen Williams scored 34 points, helping the Oklahoma City Thunder snap back from a 42-point loss by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 128-126 in Game 4 on Monday night to take a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals. Anthony Edwards only got up 13 shot attempts and spoke on the idea of if he struggled.
I don't look at it like I struggled. They had a good game plan, making us get off the ball. Especially for me, man, they was super in the gaps. I made the right play all night, so I don't really look at it like I struggled. I didn't get enough shots to say I struggled, so that might be how you guys look at it. But yeah, I didn't struggle at all. I made the right play.
Big Perk, tell me this. What's going on over there, bud? Did we crown Ant too soon?
What you mean? Crown him for as what?
Like, did we crown him, call him the face of the league, the future, the whole deal? Like, anoint him?
Molly, I want to pass it, and I want to hear what everybody else got to say.
Sure.
Because when I
you
get
pick.
back to me, we're going to have to
You're
have
in charge.
a
Who do you want to go first? You pick the person.
Well, my big brother right here. My big brother right here to
Stephen
the left
A?
of me. Because his energy low. His energy low today, and I don't like it.
Well, first of all, I would love to get back at you, but damn it, I'm tired. I can't wait till vacation. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm tired as hell. You know what I'm saying? I've been traveling so much, y'all. I'm just tired. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna front. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, y'all. There's levels to this. But like I told you before, when you're a number one option, everybody knows they have to game plan for you anytime they're going against your team. And you answer the call the way Anthony Edwards has answered the call over the last couple of years, averaging better than 25 a game, being a guy that has sent home LeBron and Luka this year. Last year, KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal in the first round, Jokic and Jamal Murray in the second round. You sent home Luka and LeBron this year. I'm not going to say Steph Curry because he was hurt and he had you. They were up 1-0. When Steph Curry went down 13 minutes in, when he had already had 13 points with that hamstring injury, but you did send home Jimmy Butler. You did send home Draymond Green. And so I look at it from that standpoint, and I say this brother Ant-Man, who was averaging 31 on 56% shooting over games 2 and 3 of this series, being the personality that he is, with the talent, the athleticism that he has, being the face of the Minnesota Timberwolves franchise, I don't think we crowned him too soon at all. I think that when you look at, if you are a franchise, if you are an owner, isn't that the kind of talent you want?
Yeah.
That's the kind of talent you want. That's the kind of personality that you want. You don't want the performance that you received last night, but by and large, everything he is everything you want as the face of your franchise. And so because of that reality and the fact that he has, for the most part, lived up to it in his young career, I'm going to say we didn't crown him too soon. I'm not going to say that at all. It's just that SGA is somebody that we need to pay rapt attention to because his personality is smooth, mellowed, etc. But the brother's an assassin, averaged 32 a game this year, won league MVP, and then goes into a must-win situation against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night and drops 40, 10, and 9. It ain't about what Ant-Man is not, because I think he is legit. It's that we need to elevate the legitimacy of a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Even as a league MVP, he still needs to be elevated because he's telling us he's on the verge of being a champion, too.
I agree with you. I don't think, I think Ant-Man is everything he's hyped up to be. I believe in his game. I believe in his mentality. I think maybe this last game or game one kind of like set us back. Like we wanted to see more. We wanted to see more aggression. But let's not take away from the fact that he's only 23 years old. He has a super bright future in this league. He will be one of the best players that play this game. And we haven't talked about a guy being Jordan-esque since Kobe Bryant. Like that name and in that realm, of course he's going to be great. Of course we didn't crown him too soon. This is a killer right here. This is one of those guys you love to see enter the league. Like I'm a fan of Ant because of the approach of the game, how he does not care who he's going against. I feel like a lot of that plays a factor into who he is and why we say he's the face of the league and what he's doing. Like he's nothing short of becoming a great player, right? These last couple games we might have been like, kind of dialed it back because we just wanted to see more, but absolutely not. Like, he is going to be the guy in this league.
It's just not just the talent, it's also the mentality.
Yeah, it's the mentality, man. Look, this is growing pains. I got to say, this probably is one of the worst games last game we seen Ant play. And actually, he didn't shoot his shot. So you can't really even say that was one of the worst games he played. No, we didn't crown him too soon. He's a great player. He's going to continue to be a great player. For him to carry himself, and for anybody to even say he's the face of the league at 23 is big in itself. When you talk about young superstars in the league, and when you talk about superstars in the league, period, he's among the top 5. And when your name is as big as Ant, and you have the charisma, you're just a great kid, you're a great guy. By the time Ant's 25 or 26, man, he's going to be unstoppable, and he's already unstoppable now.
Perk, you ready now?
I am ready. So I think we're past the point of having one face of the league. I think it's going to be faces in plural.
Sure.
Right? When I think about Anthony Edwards, I think about Jason Tatum, I think about SGA, right? When we talk about entering the company or the conversation of Jordan, SGA actually he's sitting at the table with Jordan right now for what he accomplished this year, for his 3 consecutive seasons of averaging 30 points and shooting over 50% from the field at the shooting guard position. No. But what I'm saying, just in the regular season, he entered that. Him and Jordan are the only two. Okay. Jordan did it 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. SGA did it 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. Here's the bigger picture, right? You got to check the boxes when you're the face of the league. Yes, we know you got to have your signature shoe. You're going to be in commercials. You're going to have the highlights. You got to have the game. But you know what else you got to have? You got to be a role model, right? And things outside the lines matter. Now, if you go down the list of all the faces of the league in the history of the game, you look at Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, LeBron, Steph, what did they all have in common? While they was playing in the league, they all were family men. They all were married with kids. And if you think that don't play a role as far as the role model, this is facts. This is not something that I'm making. Hold on. But this is not something that I'm making up. Now, what happened to them after they retired, that's their business. But while they are playing or was playing, they were family men, married with kids.
Well, let's say this. First of all, let's be fair here. Here's what I mean by that. I get where you're coming from, and I understand that. And when you talk about being the face of the league, it's not just about your game on the court. It's about what you do off the court. I think that we ain't gonna get into anybody's business. We don't do that on this show. No. But what we will say is that sometimes you've had people in the modern era who've made mistakes because in the age of social media and beyond, fellas, they put too much of their business out there. They talk a little bit too much, and you let people in to stuff that they don't need to be in. Ain't none of our damn business, okay? But when we were talking about Crown and Ant-Man, we were just talking basketball. We weren't getting into all of that. We were looking at his skill set. I understand what you mean about the face of the league. You're not wrong in terms of what comes with being the face of the league. But when we were talking about Ant-Man, we were talking about his game on the court. We weren't getting into anything else. And so what I'm saying to you is that if we're going to stick to that and we're going to look at him, of course, anybody